If one were to journey to the very beginnings of life on our planet, they would encounter a world transformed by some of its smallest inhabitants. These remarkable organisms are known as algae. In simple terms, algae are a vast and diverse group of aquatic organisms capable of producing their own food through photosynthesis, much like the plants we see on land. They are not quite plants, not quite animals, and not quite fungi. They exist in a kingdom of their own, a testament to the sheer ingenuity of nature. From the microscopic specks that drift unseen in the vast oceans to the great sprawling kelp forests that tower beneath the waves, algae are truly the foundation of aquatic life, a quiet yet powerful force that has shaped our world for billions of years. One can find these incredible life forms in almost any environment imaginable, as long as there is a little light and moisture. They thrive in the salty expanse of our oceans, the fresh waters of our lakes and rivers, and even in the dampness of soil, on the bark of trees, or clinging to rocks. Some have even adapted to the most extreme conditions on Earth, from the boiling hot springs of Yellowstone to the frozen, icy landscapes of Antarctica. This adaptability is one of their most astonishing features. Their appearance is just as varied as their habitats. We often think of them as simple green slime, but that barely scratches the surface of their wonderful complexity and beauty. The secret to their success lies in a simple yet profound process: photosynthesis. Algae contain chlorophyll, the same green pigment found in terrestrial plants, which allows them to capture the sun's energy. They use this energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars for food, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. This fundamental process is not only crucial for their own survival, but for nearly all life on Earth. It was the ancient ancestors of today's algae that first began to fill our atmosphere with the oxygen we now breathe, paving the way for the evolution of more complex life forms, including ourselves. They are, in essence, the planet's primary life support system. So, when we look upon a pond shimmering with green, or watch the waves crash upon a shore strewn with seaweed, we are witnessing a living legacy. These organisms represent a bridge to the distant past, a time when our world was vastly different. They are not merely simple pond scum. They are architects of our atmosphere, the base of immense food webs, and a source of incredible biological diversity. Understanding algae is to understand the very engine of life that drives our blue planet, a world of hidden wonders that continues to sustain and surprise us with its resilience and its quiet, unassuming power. The world of algae is so immense and varied that scientists have had to develop careful ways to classify them, to bring a sense of order to their wonderful diversity. Rather than being one single unified group, algae are sorted into several major divisions, much like different families in the great tree of life. This classification is often based on the types of pigments they possess, which give them their characteristic colors. It also depends on the chemical nature of the food they store and the specific details of their cellular structure. By examining these features, scientists can piece together their evolutionary history and understand the relationships between the different kinds. It's a fascinating puzzle that reveals the many different paths that life has taken. One of the most well-known groups is the green algae, or chlorophyta. As their name suggests, these algae are predominantly green because of their high concentration of chlorophyll, the same pigment that dominates the plant kingdom. In fact, it is from an ancient lineage of green algae that all land plants are thought to have evolved. They can be found as single cells floating in water, as filaments that form silky green threads, or as larger, more complex seaweeds. They are a common sight in freshwater ponds and lakes, often forming the green film we see on the surface during warm summer months, a sign of a thriving, productive ecosystem. Then we have the red algae, or rhodophyta. These organisms are masters of living in deeper marine waters, where sunlight is scarce. They possess special reddish pigments, called phycobilins, which are exceptionally good at absorbing the blue and green light that penetrates deep into the ocean. This gives them their beautiful red, pink, or even purplish hues. Many red algae have delicate, feathery structures, while others, known as coralline algae, deposit calcium carbonate in their cell walls, helping to build and strengthen coral reefs. They play a vital role in these fragile ecosystems, acting as the mortar that holds the entire reef structure together, creating homes for countless other creatures. Finally, we encounter the brown algae, or Phaeophyta. This group includes some of the largest and most complex of all algae, such as the giant kelp. Their brownish or olive-green color comes from a pigment called fucoxanthin, which masks the green of their chlorophyll. Almost all brown algae are marine, and they are particularly dominant in cooler, temperate, and polar waters. They form vast underwater forests that provide critical habitats and food for an incredible array of marine life, from sea otters and seals to countless species of fish and invertebrates. These different groups, distinguished by their unique colors and chemistry, show us the remarkable ways life adapts to every available niche. The physical appearance of algae is as diverse as the environments they inhabit, showcasing an extraordinary range of forms, from the infinitesimally small to the truly gigantic. At one end of the spectrum, we find the phytoplankton. These are microscopic, single-celled algae that drift freely in the upper layers of our oceans and lakes, carried by the currents. Though invisible to the naked eye, they exist in such colossal numbers that their collective activity forms the very base of most aquatic food webs. Diatoms, for example, are a type of phytoplankton that build intricate, glass-like shells of silica, creating countless geometric patterns of breathtaking complexity and precision, like tiny living jewels of the sea. Moving up in scale, we find algae that form colonies, or long, delicate filaments. Volvox is a marvelous example of a colonial green alga, where hundreds or even thousands of individual cells join together to form a hollow rolling sphere. This arrangement represents a fascinating step towards multicellular life, where cells begin to cooperate for the good of the whole colony. Filamentous algae, like Spiragyra, form the long, green, silky threads that we often see in freshwater streams and ponds. These threads can grow into dense mats, providing shelter and food for small insects and fish, transforming a simple body of water into a bustling community of life. Then there are the seaweeds, the larger multicellular algae that we are most familiar with. These organisms, scientifically known as macroalgae, display a wonderful variety of shapes and structures. Some, like sea lettuce, form thin, bright green sheets that resemble their namesake. Others have more complex forms, with structures that look remarkably like the roots, stems, and leaves of land plants. For instance, many seaweeds have a holdfast that anchors them firmly to rocks, a flexible stipe that acts like a stem, and broad blades or fronds that capture sunlight. These structures, however, are fundamentally different from those of true plants, a brilliant example of convergent evolution. At the pinnacle of algal size and complexity are the magnificent kelp forests. Dominated by giant kelp, a type of brown algae, these underwater ecosystems are among the most productive on Earth. An individual kelp can grow to be over 60 meters long, soaring from the seabed towards the sunlit surface. Their enormous fronds create a dense canopy, providing a three-dimensional habitat that supports a staggering diversity of life. From the holdfasts clinging to the rocky floor, to the blades swaying in the currents above, every part of the kelp provides a home or a meal for countless marine creatures. This incredible range, from microscopic diatoms to towering kelp, highlights the endless creativity of the natural world. The importance of algae to the health of our planet and the prosperity of humanity simply cannot be overstated. Their most profound contribution is, without a doubt, the production of oxygen. Through the ceaseless process of photosynthesis, phytoplankton in our oceans are responsible for generating at least half of the Earth's oxygen, more than all the world's rainforests combined. Every other breath we take is a gift from these tiny, unseen organisms drifting in the sea. They are the primary lungs of our planet, constantly replenishing the atmosphere with the very gas that makes complex life, including our own, possible. This fundamental role makes them the silent, indispensable guardians of our world's breathability. Beyond oxygen production, algae form the foundation of nearly all aquatic food webs. As primary producers, they convert sunlight into organic matter, which then feeds a vast array of other organisms. Tiny zooplankton graze on phytoplankton, and they, in turn, are eaten by small fish, which are then consumed by larger fish, marine mammals, and seabirds. The great baleen whales, the largest animals on Earth, sustain themselves by feeding on krill, which feed on phytoplankton. Without algae, the entire marine food web would collapse, and our oceans would become barren deserts. Their role as the ultimate source of food in aquatic environments makes them critically important for global biodiversity. For humanity, algae have long been a source of valuable resources, and their potential is only just beginning to be fully realized. For centuries, cultures around the world have harvested seaweed for food, as it is rich in vitamins and minerals. Today, substances extracted from algae, such as alginates, carrageenan, and agar, are used as thickeners and stabilizers in a huge range of products, from ice cream and toothpaste to cosmetics and paints. Scientists are also exploring algae as a promising source of biofuel, a renewable alternative to fossil fuels that could help us combat climate change. Their rapid growth and ability to thrive in various conditions make them a powerful tool for a more sustainable future. In summary, algae are far more than just simple aquatic life. They are the planet's green powerhouses, the architects of our oxygen-rich atmosphere, and the bedrock of marine ecosystems. From the microscopic cells that fuel the oceans to the giant kelp that shelter entire communities, their influence is woven into the very fabric of life on Earth. They sustain us with the air we breathe and offer innovative solutions to some of our most pressing global challenges. As we continue to explore the natural world, we must remember the immense power and importance of these humble yet vital organisms. Protecting our planet's waters means protecting the algae within them, and in doing so, we protect ourselves.